Maybe this side.
All right, Mr. Wells, let me introduce myself first. My name is Aquiles Aminon. I'm a student here at Suffolk University, double major in political science and broadcasting journalism. And my question comes from a conversation or something that happened not too long ago. I was looking at information about this Spanish personality on the internet, and I went to Wikipedia. And when I was reading the information in English, there was some facts about the personality, and then when I clicked it in Spanish, the facts were completely different. So I was just starting to think, like, why are these two facts, which was the age of the personality, so different, just because the language is different? So my question is, are we supposed to believe that the info on Wikipedia, are we supposed to believe on the info on Wikipedia, or should we look at the page as an opinion website in where we're not guaranteed that what we're looking at, it's not true, or that is true?
Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't go so far as to say we should regard it as an opinion website, because our ethos within the community, it would never be valid to say, well, I wrote that this person's a jerk because that's my opinion and you can't stop me from doing it. That's just like, okay, you do that about 3 times in your band. You know, that's really not acceptable behavior. The fact that we try not to be mere opinion, that we try to be reality-based, fact-based, with and a very traditional, old-fashioned view of what it means to have quality, good quality references and sources, and really being able to back it up with all those kinds of traditional things. The fact that we strive to do that does not mean that we always succeed. And there are many, many different ways that we might fail. And so in a lot of cases you'll see, and it's really great when people are able to function in 2 different languages. A lot of people who can do that do get involved in this kind of project of comparing the articles and saying, oh look, actually we've got these 2 articles in 2 different languages and they say very different things. And sometimes what you might do is when you go to the sources, you find there was just a simple misunderstanding or an error in one or the other. Sometimes you'll find that error may be driven by conceits of certain cultures and things like this. There was a time somebody said to me, I don't read French at all, but somebody said to me, in the English Wikipedia, it reported at one point that the airplane was invented by the Wright brothers, which all American school children learn as an uncontroversial, straightforward fact. In French Wikipedia, it said that some French guy invented the airplane, right? What's that? Actually, he's a Brazilian, but there's some connection to France. And it turns out, as I understand it, in France, the history of the airplane to school children is taught just as uncontroversially that this fellow invented the airplane. And French people are very surprised to learn that we think these Wright brother characters did it. Well, so that's a problem, right? And that's a problem that comes from 2 cultures having a certain view of themselves. But what's really fantastic is that today, if you go to the Wikipedia entry on the history of, there's a whole section on who invented the airplane that actually explains in full context, right? Most of us, what we see, I think everybody's seen the hilarious newsreels of the flapping wing and the guy on the bike and all this, and the image I always had was there were all these crazy people doing stupid things, and then these geniuses that invented the airplane. But in fact, this was an ongoing project around the world. It's just like scientific development today. There were a lot of different innovations that were done by different people, and as I understand the actual difference, the Wright brothers were the first, so this is my understanding, and you can go read in Wikipedia and see if I understood it. The Wright brothers made a plane that it went further than it would have if it were just a glider, because it was getting some lift, but it actually went down the whole way. And the French were the first who actually made an airplane that could go up. And so the question is, which one of those is really an airplane? Well, they both have some legitimate claim to being a remarkable innovation, and you can't say either of them is the invention of the airplane. Okay, so I've gone on a long spiel here. And so what can happen in many cases is that if you see 2 completely different sets of facts, really what is going on is that you need to dig deeper, and in fact, the truth is not as simple as either of those would be. So, there you go.